Welcome to the Deep Dive, where you give us the sources, and we dive deep to pull out the key info. Basically, your shortcut to getting up to speed.
That's the idea.
And today, we're looking at something I think a lot of people are interested in, building a business, a successful one.
Right. And our source for this is the book 12 Months to $1 Million.
Yeah, it's packed with, well, roadmaps and insights into what that whole entrepreneurial journey actually feels like.
It really is. And what's interesting is just how many different kinds of people have gotten something out of it. You know, single parents, people just tired of the 9-to-5 grind.
Totally. And you see that in the endorsements, right? People like Alex Upperman, an immigrant, now heading towards a 7-figure business.
Or Yev Marchenko, now advising others. Josh Bizzoni, who started BioTrust, he actually said he wished he'd had this book back when he launched.
That's saying something, given BioTrust hit $100 million in its first year.
It really is. Then there's Chad Miguel's, Lori Taylor growing TrueDog to a $100 million valuation.
Loran Hirschkorn selling his company for 8 figures. Jenna Ziegler launching her business and a nonprofit faster than planned. Chris Nowak, who sold his business for a life-changing amount. It's quite a list.
Yeah, these stories really drive home the point that the strategies work. So our mission today is, well, to boil it all down for you.
Right. Extract the actionable stuff, the surprising bits, the core ideas that really show what it takes to build a business quickly.
And with intention.
Okay, let's get into it. I'm really keen to unpack the mindset, but also the practical steps, the how-to. So where do we begin?
Well, I think understanding the big picture shift in entrepreneurship itself is key. The book points to the 2008 crash.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That really did change how people thought about jobs, about security.
Exactly. Before that, starting your own thing often felt super risky. But after 2008, with traditional jobs looking less secure, it started looking like a viable alternative.
More than viable, maybe even attractive for some.
Right. And at the same time, you had this explosion of new digital tools lowering the barrier to entry. Think social media, Kickstarter, Amazon FBA.
FBA, that's fulfillment by Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Where they handle the storage and shipping.
And drop shipping, where you don't even hold the inventory. Suddenly, the average person could realistically start something online.
So it wasn't just a mindset shift. The actual tools changed the game.
Absolutely. And the book really stresses, that this isn't over. New tech, new platforms, they keep coming. We're still pretty early in this whole internet business era.
That's good to hear, because sometimes it feels like, maybe you missed the boat.
Not according to this book. And what's fascinating is how small businesses can now actually compete with and even outsell the big guys.
How so? What's the key there?
Focus. Laser focus on a specific customer. And being nimble. Being able to innovate fast.
Like how Facebook bought Instagram or Twitter bought Periscope.
Yeah.
The big guys snapping up the innovators.
Kind of. It shows the big companies struggle to move that fast. A huge company like, say, Kimberly-Clark can't just change direction based on a few Amazon reviews.
Right. Too much inertia.
Exactly. But a small business, they can talk directly to customers on Instagram, test ideas, tweak things almost instantly. And that brings us to a really fundamental concept, finding your person.
Okay, your person. Let's unpack that, because my first thought might be, I want to sell to everyone. Doesn't that make more sense? Bigger market.
It seems logical, but the book argues that's actually where many people go wrong. It makes a really important distinction between just selling stuff and actually building a brand.
And a brand here isn't just the logo.
No, it's trust. It's the expectation your customer has that you'll consistently deliver for them.
Yep.
And you build that trust by serving the same kind of person over and over.
So niching down isn't limiting, it's actually focusing your power.
Precisely. The book argues that trying to be everything to everyone is a recipe for failure. You need to market to a specific individual. Think RXBAR and CrossFitters.
Okay.
Mizzen plus main for active guys. Public Rec, similar idea. Black Rifle Coffee, they target a whole mindset, right?
Definitely. And Dollar Shave Club.
They tackled a very specific pain point. Buying razors is annoying and expensive. They zeroed in on that frustration for a certain group.
Those are great examples. So how do you actually find this person? What are the steps?
The book lays out some key questions. First, who is the one person you really want to serve? Get specific. Not just moms, but like a particular type of mom with specific challenges.
Okay, create an avatar almost.
Exactly. Second, what do they already buy? You need to know there's an existing market. Third, out of all the things they buy, which product area will you focus on first?
Right, can't do everything at once.
And finally, what do they think about the products already out there? What are their complaints? What do they wish existed? This is where listening comes in.
Like really digging into reviews and forums.
Absolutely. The book uses Moise Ali creating native deodorant as a perfect example. He spent time in online forums, saw people complaining that natural deodorants just didn't work well, and built his product to solve that specific problem.
Wow. So he found the need by listening directly to the potential customers.
Mm.
Okay, so you've got your person.
Yeah.
Now you need the product, the first product.
Right. And the first thing the book tackles is the money myth. You don't necessarily need tens of thousands of dollars.
Really? Because
Yeah.
that stops a lot of people.
It does. But think about Moise Ali starting native with just $500. Or Jared from Happy Puppin being super resourceful early on. The book says mindset and perseverance are way more important than a huge bankroll at the start.
Okay, that's genuinely encouraging. So what kind of first product?
They call it a gateway product.
Yeah.
It's the obvious first thing your ideal customer would buy to solve a specific pain point.
Like if you're targeting yogis, maybe a yoga mat.
Exactly. Or pre-workout for gym folks. It's that first handshake, the thing that addresses an immediate need.
Makes sense. And does it have to be totally new and revolutionary?
Not necessarily. The book actually recommends researching what's already selling well on places like Amazon. Read the reviews, especially the negative ones, to find pain points. Then focus on refining or improving, not reinventing.
So evolution, not revolution, at least initially.
Right. There's even a quote from Peter Diamandis essentially saying, if you're not a bit embarrassed by your first version, you waited too long to launch.
Oh, okay. Iteration is key.
Yeah.
What about actually getting it made?
The book mentions using contract manufacturers, maybe finding them on platforms like Alibaba.com, but it strongly advises getting samples first, test the quality, refine.
Don't just order 1,000 units blind.
Definitely not. And then there's a cool strategy from Travis Killian, testing product mock-ups against competitors before manufacturing. See what potential customers actually prefer.
That's smart. Get validation early.
Yep.
Okay, so you have your person, you're developing the product. What's next? Just launch.
You know, this is where stacking the deck comes in. There's usually a waiting period, right, between ordering inventory and it arriving. The book calls this the hump.
Okay, the waiting game.
Use that time. Build buzz. Build an audience before you have anything to sell.
Pre-launch hype.
Exactly. Think about pre-selling on Kickstarter. That gets you initial cash, but also generates buzz, social proof. Helps with search rankings later.
Right, gets the ball rolling. How big does this pre-launch audience need to be?
Interestingly, the book says engagement matters more than size. 100 really engaged people can be more powerful than thousands who don't really care.
Quality over quantity again.
Yeah.
So how do you build this audience? Where do you find them?
Go where they already are. Are they in specific Facebook groups? LinkedIn, Instagram, maybe Pinterest, like the example of the organization company.
Right. Find their natural habitat online.
Yes. And then create content for them, targeted content. Build an email list, maybe even use your personal Facebook page. The book mentions Sophie doing that successfully for her Lunchbox Kickstarter.
Okay. And the Zigglers with their Dry Eye Facebook group.
Perfect example. Built a super niche, engaged community, then launched the product to them. Success.
So the steps are find where they hang out, create content they value, and maybe even document your process. Let them follow the journey.
Exactly. Bring them along for the ride. Okay, so you've stacked the deck, the product arrives, you launch. Now what?
The moment of truth.
Well, now comes the grind. The immediate goal, according to the book, is getting to 25 sales per day, consistently.
25 a day. Okay. Why that number?
It shows consistent demand. It proves the concept. During this phase, you focus heavily on those first customers. Get reviews, get feedback, nurture them.
So it's not just about hitting the number, but building a core group.
Absolutely. Maybe create a VIP list, a private group. Celebrate the small wins, because it is a grind. The book reminds us it's a people business, not just products.
Like the story of the host calling a repeat buyer.
Yeah, just reaching out, understanding their experience. It takes effort. You have to keep engaging, keep pushing, even when sales plateau for a bit.
So what specific tactics help get you to that 25 a day mark?
Personal outreach to early buyers, targeted ads, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, maybe starting with customer testimonials. Those are powerful. And keep building that community. Always circle back to the audience.
And avoid the mistakes like the pet supply guy who stopped caring or the fruit powder company ignoring feedback.
Right, those are cautionary tales. Stay connected to your customers.
Okay, so you hit 25 sales a day consistently. That feels like a real milestone. What's the next level?
Where does the gold come in?
Exactly. The gold is about product number 2 and beyond. Hitting that 25 a day mark signals you've got something solid. Now it's time to think about expanding to create that snowball effect.
Okay, second product time. What's the key here? Just find another product people might like.
This is where the book highlights a huge potential mistake. Don't go chasing a totally new market or niche.
Really? Why
Yeah.
not? Because you've already built trust and a relationship with your first group of customers. The second product should serve them. Ask, what would they want to buy next?
Leverage the existing audience.
Precisely. Go back to that initial list of ideas you probably had. Remember the yoga example? Mat first, then maybe a towel, then a block, then a roller, all for the same yogi.
Or Dave Asprey with Bulletproof. Coffee, then MCT oil, then ghee, all for that same biohacker customer.
Exactly. It's about serving the same person more deeply and differentiate between a real second product and just like variations or accessories.
Right, a new color isn't product number 2.
Not in this strategic sense. And the second product can really start to define what kind of company you're building, like on it becoming about human performance or bulletproof about biohacking.
It sets the trajectory.
Yeah. The book mentions Jonathan finding more purpose beyond just makeup bags. So think about the bigger picture, but launch one new thing at a time. Get reviews, build momentum.
Don't get overwhelmed by data. Focus on the customer.
Always. And be open to surprises, like the Cozy Phone story. They found this passionate audience among parents of kids with autism, something they didn't expect. That feedback is gold.
Wow, yeah. Listening can open up whole new avenues. Okay, so you have a product line growing. How do you keep scaling?
Now you need to be more active in acquiring new customers. The book mentions Dollar Shave Club, BioTrust. They were deliberate about acquisition.
So organic growth isn't enough anymore.
It helps, but you need proactive strategies. With influencers, for example, the book suggests partnerships or endorsements where real trust is transferred. Think podcasts, blogs are better than just paying for a quick post.
Authenticity matters.
Definitely. Maybe start small. Offer to advertise on their podcast once, build a relationship. The smallest, yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And crucially, capture that influencer's audience onto your list. Offer a discount code in exchange for an email. Own the relationship. The clean keto coffee example showed that.
Get them onto your email list. Smart. The book also mentions hitting $100 K a month.
Yeah, that's flagged as a significant turning point, often involving a shift in mindset and operations.
Which brings us to funding. What's the advice there? Bootstrapping. Investors.
The book strongly pushes for reinvesting profits early on, like for the whole first year, at least. Put the money back into the business.
Fuel the growth internally first.
Right. Then it looks at other options. Lines of credit, home equity, investors, Kickstarter again, Cabbage, Amazon lending. Lots of possibilities.
But what about investors? What do they want to see?
Return on investment, obviously, and a clear plan for growth beyond just one product. They want to see scalability.
Makes sense. And the book talks about good debt versus bad debt.
Yeah, good debt is for things that can generate more return, like inventory, you can sell profitably. Bad debt is, well, not that. Cabbage is mentioned for quick inventory cash, but only if the product is already proven, because the rates can be high.
So it comes back to proving the concept first.
Always. Money follows momentum. Focus on sales, prove your product works, then look for funding if you need it.
Prove it, then fund it. Got it. Okay, finally, the book mentions the exit, selling the company.
It does, but the main message isn't really about the exit itself. It's about building something valuable by serving customers well. That's the focus.
Build a great business, and an exit might become an option later.
Exactly. And remember your advantage as a small, nimble business. You're closer to the customer than the big corporations. If you do sell, be picky. Find a buyer who actually cares about your customers and your vision.
Don't just sell to the highest bidder if they're going to ruin it.
Right. And hitting that $1 million mark,
Yeah.
It's huge, but it's just a milestone on a longer journey. The book also says, hey, once you hit sustainability, like maybe $100 K a month, start paying yourself properly.
Okay, important practical advice.
And ultimately, entrepreneurship is as much about your own growth, what you learn about yourself, as it is about the money. That Tim Ferriss quote nails it. Even if the thing isn't worth it, the pursuit is.
The journey itself changes you.
For sure. And plan through your goals. Don't just aim for the million. Think about what comes after so you don't feel lost when you hit it. The host even mentions getting mentorship from Travis after hitting a big goal.
That's really insightful. So, wrapping this up, what are the absolute core takeaways from this deep dive into 12 months to $1 million?
I'd say, number one, the power of extreme focus on one specific customer, your person.
Okay. Number 2.
Build your audience before you launch. Stack the deck. Pre-launch momentum is critical.
Got it.
3, embrace the grind. Getting those first 25 sales a day consistently takes work. Focus on early customers, get feedback.
And 4.
Be strategic about product number 2 and beyond. Serve the same customer, solve their next problem.
Absolutely. I mean, the book really lays out a powerful framework, a shortcut to understanding these key principles if you're thinking about starting something.
Okay, so for you, our listener, as you process all this, here's something to chew on. What's the smallest possible yes you could ask your potential audience for right now, today, to just start building that momentum? It's a little step.
Yeah. Think about these ideas, see what resonates, what you could maybe apply to your own projects or interests, and please keep sending us your sources for future deep dives.
We love exploring them. Let's keep learning together.